Welcome back. It's your man H-Rap B coming at you live and direct as I do every 168 hours. This is Build and Destroy. This is a show designed to uplift and improve your life. We are attempting to build up the consciousness and the community at large and destroy the myths and the propaganda that come along with being a person, a part of this community. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Build for This Network. I do this every Saturday where I'm offering you solutions, possibly. I'm offering you ways to start a business. I'm offering you ways to enjoy your life to the fullest of your abilities. And when we do that, then and only then we fulfill the wants and needs of the guys who you just heard, the Whitney Youngs, the Martin Luther Kings, the Adam Clayton Powells, the Malcolm X's, the Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, Dick Gregory, and others who were speaking in my monologue. The reason I do that is to empower you and let you know that, hey, there is hope. We always are in fear about children being hurt, about what law enforcement, government, and things of that nature. But what we have to do is go back to the foundation. And how we go back to the foundations is open our eyes and see that we are better than what we're doing. When you see you're better than what you're doing, most of us will do better. There's no such thing as fix everything. What we're trying to do is get the vast majority of us to move in one direction. If we move in one direction, or even a lot of us to move in one direction, because more than likely, when people see that you're trying to improve, even if it's out of spite, they'll try to improve also. With that being said, I want to thank you again. If you got a link from me, all you have to do to fully participate in the show is click the link, connect this to your Facebook page, and then at that moment, you will have the ability to interact in my chat room. If you choose to continue to listen in the back, that's awesome as well. Thank you for listening, and I'll continue with the show. I am going to open up the phone lines because I am going to ask a series of questions this afternoon. Some of the questions are hard-hitting. Some of the questions you may not even like, but hopefully they're thought-provoking and put you in a state of mind of improvement. Now, you know how I start each and every one of my shows. I give homage to my ancestors. And as I explain every week, the reason I give homage to each and every one of my ancestors is because without them, there is no me. I was taught that once you respect your ancestors, send them the respect up, and they send down blessings and protections to you. Well, without further ado, I want to send out respects to everybody related to me and connected to the family with the last name Whitmore, Pollard, Turner, Ballard, Battle, Cotton, Harper, Bailey, Chris, Lansdowne, Liggins, Duncan, and everybody who listens knows that me and my pops, our last name is Williams. We are in the field. And again, thank you for tuning in. And as we get this show warmed up, I want to talk about a few things that are troubling me at this point. We continue to let things just drift on down the river, and because we are allowing things to drift down the river, all we do is talk. I'm tired of talking. No more talk. It's time for some action. And I'm not talking about physical action, physical force, because you are behind enemy lines, and in the event that you try to raise up with physical force, you will be destroyed. Let's not even fool ourselves by believing we can get enough guns to destroy the greatest army that walks the earth today. But there is a way when you live in a capitalistic society to hurt that machine called the American government. And you can do that with your finances. But before I even get into that, I want to talk about these two young men who were destroyed this weekend. They were hunted down and lynched like animals. One thing I haven't heard this week is the term hate crime, because according to the amendments in the Constitution, the term hate crime takes it up a notch. And when you take it up a notch, then you let people know that you're serious. It shouldn't have taken outcry from each and every person in the United States of America to get this thing moving. Even though it did, I'm glad at some point it did get moving. And now it's your job, my job, and everybody who can hear me job, and everybody who looks like me and everybody who looks like them. It's their job to do something about it. Enough of sitting around saying, man, I'm sick and tired. If you're really sick, you know when you really get sick and tired? when somebody in your family is exterminated. That's when you really get sick and tired. People always say, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, and they go sit their ass down and keep watching Netflix, and they keep chilling, and they keep buying drinks and things of that nature. I suggest that at some point we start taking actions that hurt people where in this country hurts them the most. And you know what? When you live in a capitalistic society where it hurts them the most, inside of your pocket. I'm here to destroy this myth about we make trillions of dollars, so they're going to be hurt. They're not going to be hurt by that. You know, we don't make trillions of dollars. There's only 44 million people, which even if at $15 an hour on average, that means we make $88 billion. Now, but if you make a shift in $88 billion, people will stand up and understand, wait a minute, let's go fix this. Let's wake up and realize that we have to do this. Now, can we make a big shift? No, we can't. I live in the city of Chicago, which you all know. If 5,000 people never spend another dime in Chicago, I did the math, that is about $122 million on average. If you remove $122 million from anything, they will stand up and notice that. And that's what we have to do. This young man was shot. First of all, he was shot. He was hunted down like an animal and shot. These are the issues that I have. He had no issue with anybody. He had run down the streets in jogging shorts. That means his shorts came up to the top of his thigh. He had a t-shirt on, so he couldn't have been armed. So this propaganda about people having to recluse themselves because they are too close to the situation, that's a lie. That is a Klansman in action. 1992, the Federal Bureau of Investigations did a study, and they documented that law enforcement has been infiltrated by hate crimes and white supremacists. When you look at that, realize what you're dealing with. One of the things you're dealing with is a former police officer and a former district attorney investigator. We need to be asking these questions. The first question is this. Why did this dude stop being a police officer? The second question is this. How many times did he discharge his firearm and walked away from it? And the third question is this. Of all the cases that he did investigations on for the district attorney, how many of those cases are very shaky? Because me, you, and everybody else that walks the earth understands that there are literally millions of our brothers and sisters behind those walls unjustly. So if this guy has been muddying the waters for 20 some odd years, all those cases need to be reopened and he needs to be incarcerated for obstruction of justice as well as murder in the first degree. This isn't a murder too where your actions result in a murder. This is a premeditated murder and he had a lie prepared to move forward. The people who recruit themselves from this case, they should be arrested as well for obstruction of justice. Until we start doing things of that nature and requesting things of this nature, we will continue to suffer. Nobody has brought up another thing. The Central Park exonerated fire. The exonerated fire. They're not the Central Park fire. They were Central Park fire when they were erroneously convicted of a crime that they didn't commit. The exonerated fire. This is eerily the same. As hard as you saw those people, if you haven't seen this, Eva Duvier did an excellent job. It's on Netflix. How they see us, they broke their backs to make sure that they could lock up 4 young brothers and 1 Latino brother. They broke their backs. They did everything they could, everything humanly possible to incarcerate these young men. Some of them went to jail and they were never the same. And others, a couple of those brothers are professors and public speakers. So it's a situation. And then I'm friends with one of them, Raymond Santana. And Raymond Santana says he's moved down to Georgia since, and he's still incarcerated. He incarcerates himself in his own big house. He has a big house, but he only stays in one room. So mentally, he's still incarcerated. We must ask them. We must force them to put the same kind of energy behind incarcerating a cold-blooded killer as you did behind the exonerated fire. But we're not doing that. We're just calling for this guy to get arrested. Newsflash, people. George Zimmerman was arrested. Just in case you forgot, George Zimmerman was arrested. So if you're worried, if you're happy with somebody getting arrested in the United States of America, you're a lie. A lot of you people who think OJ did it or actually care if OJ did it, he got arrested too. So people getting arrested. Robert Blake was arrested. And if you really want to want to look at a miscarriage of justice, look into that Robert Blake case. It'll piss you off. Even if you believe OJ did it, you'll say, forget it, I don't care. But like I was saying, man, we have to put these people's feet to the fire. First and foremost, as Stokely Carmichael said, his name, he passed away, I'm sorry, no disrespect, he passed away as Kwame Ture. As Brother Kwame Ture said, you must have organization. We cannot do this alone. You cannot beat somebody up by poking them in their chest. You can whoop somebody by making a fist and punching them in their chest. And at some point, we're going to have to metaphorically punch these people in the chest by taking away our valuable dollars, taking away our opportunity, and becoming a fist in the political realm. Instead of sending your child to school for business administration, which more than likely 99.9% of us are not going to do any damn thing with a business administration degree, send your kid to school for poli-sci, political science. We need to be raising our young men and women to be politicians. You see an astute young man, no, he don't want to be a businessman. What you're going to do is do like the rest of these people, the Newt Gingriches of the world, and those guys, Mitt Romneys of the world, and those people. You are going to be a politician. Your job is when you graduate at the top of your class, it's going to be a politician. You're going to be a lawmaker. Because at that point, this is what we don't realize. We're playing this game backwards. And I don't blame us for playing this game backwards. The reason we're playing this game backwards because we never got the rules. One of the rules of engagement is this, knowing the rules. Knowing your enemy. And what your enemy does is this. He uses your ignorance against you. One of the biggest mistakes that we make is we believe that a politician is supposed to make us feel good about the process. No. We are supposed to hold his feet to the fire and get on his last, as my Aunt Rita says, get on his last goddamn nerve. Bug his ass until he gets sick of seeing you and he will give you what you want. That's what we need to do. See, we always talking about things like, hey, we got to get motivated. Look, here's the motivation. I said this on the Brother Mandela show a couple of days ago. Here's the motivation. Imagine your son, daughter, niece, nephew, cousin, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, or a child in your family laying on the ground bleeding and nobody doing anything about it. That's your motivation. That's the only motivation you need. We done with the fair and equal treatment because we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. Oh, you can't think like that, B. Yes, I can, because I've been shown time and time again it's not going to happen. What we are going to have to do is organize using entities like the Urban League, Operation Push, Operation Justice with No Color, and things of that nature. We are going to have to infiltrate these organizations and make some damn noise. And if they don't want us to make noise in those organizations, what we're going to have to do is create our own organizations and then put politicians in those seats. And those people sitting in those seats will find out how to funnel us money so we can create businesses. There's a thing called the TIF funding program. It is the Tax Increment Funding Program. When you have someone in that seat that's on your side and you and him on the same page, just like our white counterparts, they hand their people money all the time and they give you this dream about bootstraps and all that bull. No more bootstrapping. We need somebody sliding us bread just like that. And I'm not talking about in an illegal way. I'm talking about legally giving us the funds to continue to build our community step by step. If you don't think this is possible, what I want you to do is this. Go back to 1865 when the Civil War ended, and you will see there were more people within the next 10 years in the United States Congress that look like me and you than there is right now. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it slow. 10 years after slavery, there were more people running the government as elected